So Netflix has been adding a lot of foreign dramas, which made me happy. But I just finished one that I'm aware it's based on I want to say like a manga, an anime, a novel. I haven't seen any of them. I know they exist. I know it is based on that. I don't know what the differences are between them or anything like that, but I know they exist. I haven't seen them yet, so this is only me talking about the live action drama. So basically, on Netflix, they added something called The Untamed, and I really liked it. There are certain things that I'll explain later on really annoyed me, but they kind of annoyed me in like the Skyrim way, where like, yeah, Skyrim is this amazing game, and it would be better if they didn't have a bunch of fucking bugs and glitches. But at the same time, because there are bugs and glitches, it's fucking hilarious and somehow even better than if it was perfect. Like, it kind of reminds me of that to some degree. I don't know how else to explain it. Okay, so the Untamed, I'll give you like the has. I was gonna say I'll give you the Netflix like summary of it, and then I'll explain it. I just kind of went into it at the time. So there are 50 episodes. I cut myself off because I was trying to say both of those things at the same time. It's one season, but there are 50 episodes. I literally just finished it. I fucking marathon this show. Each episode's like 45 minutes long, including opening and ending of themes, of course. So, no, fuck, that's not what I was doing. No. Okay, thank you. Okay, it says, in a magical world of interclan rivalry, two soulmates face treacherous schemes and uncover a dark mystery. In a magical world of interclan rivalry, two soulmates face treacherous schemes and uncover a dark mystery linked to a tragic event in the past. Now, this is based off, like I said, it was like a novel or a graphic novel. I think that's what it was. Yes, a graphic novel. That like when I went into this, I didn't know. Like you kind of get the hint that it's a bromance, and you're just like, I thought it was my inner Fujoshi just shipping people again, but no, they really are. This really was based on a boys' love thing. I will let you know now if that makes you uncomfortable. Yeah, what makes you uncomfortable? But they never like hug or kiss or have sex or anything like that. No one ever says I love you, I like you, or anything like that. It's all very much based on like atmosphere and body language. No one like even at the very end, they never fucking do any of that. It's very obvious, even if you don't go into this, that they care for each other a lot and they do love each other, even if you don't realize it's like a romantic love or anything like that. You're like, okay, they clearly care about each other. So that's why, unless you like really pick up on that kind of thing and you're really uncomfortable with like any kind of like intimate contact, like the most intimate contact everyone's really dug is like, I think there was one hug, but it was like a reunion. It wasn't like they were attracted to each other. It was just they were meeting after a very long time and they thought each other like they literally thought one of the people was dead. So they were happy and like they hugged, they were about to see that kind of thing. And like a kid hanging off of someone like kids do, just kind of like hanging off people, and like this adorable kid that just keeps grabbing people's legs and the people he likes. And I mean like as like, like I love you, I'm gay, like as in like, oh, god damn it, it's gonna be one of those things like. Sorry, but as in like you just like someone, you're fond of someone. Yeah, because this little kid kind of just like gets attached to this guy. He does fucking save him anyway. So our main characters are what is it? Oh fuck! I'm gonna butcher the hell out of their names. There's Wang Ying, who is our adorable, mischievous, sunny personality main character, and then we have his cool, super uptight but very talented and just I expect. Like, he's that cool beauty type, like that. It's kind of one of those things where, like, the ordinary Joe, well, it doesn't really describe it well either, but falls in love with, like, the class president type. Like, it's kind of like that. But, yeah, they're not super heavy on, like, like I said, sex or kissing or any of the obvious shit. There are a couple times where, like, Wing goes to, like, take off his clothes or to actually, like, he has to take off the other guy's. I don't think his name is, like, Wingji. I can't fuck. I'm a fucking idiot. Anyway, I'm not used to pronouncing Chinese names. It, like, I'm more used to Japanese names. I still can't do Korean. I can even less do any other language. But there are certain things that, like, I've watched so much anime, I've learned to pronounce certain things, and, like, I can do Romanji. I can pronounce the names of certain characters a lot better because I've seen it everywhere. I've heard the fucking syllables enough that I get it, kind of. But I don't have that with this. I can't pronounce their names. Like, I could probably fucking spell it, but, like, even then I can't spell things out loud. Like, if I'm writing, I can, like, kind of do it, but you ever, like, you're put on the spot and all of a sudden you just go real dumb. Like, I know it's, like, Wangju, I think. I want to say it's, like, Wingju, but he doesn't really call him that either. And then they have, like, titles, but, like, it's in where the fucking ease. So I it's not like captain or chief. Like, no, it's like an actual word from the language as their titles. Oh, and then of course some people have, like, those honorary names and shit, like that cool random things like the cool person of the breeze, like that weird shit. So, like, I don't know what name is what. So I can't tell you. I just know just the one dude, Wang Ying, Wei Wujing, is the same fucking person. I just know that. He's probably, like, the only name. Him and, like, Wenning are, like, the only ones I could fucking get. All the other ones just over my head. Let's do the peanut. No. Jeff Dunham joke. Anyway, I don't know if I get it right. Jeff Dunham joke. He is a ventriloquist comedian. He has a puppet named Peanut, and he goes, wow. I'm dumb. Anyway, yeah. So Wei Wuxian, I probably butchered that pronunciation too, is our main character, and it, like I said, there's 8 episodes. No, stop that. Netflix. I almost accidentally started the episode. So I kind of have to get into spoilers, but, like, the very first episode, the very first line you get is Wei Wuxian is dead. And you see him falling from a cliff. And then, so that there's that, obviously there's this battle going on. Clearly he is somehow a big figure in what happened. And they want him dead. And people are freaking out trying to get this amulet. And there's, like, evil spirits and shit everywhere. And people are fighting them and fighting each other. And just, it's essentially a bloodbath. And, like a war is kind of going on. And he is clearly kind of the one that started it. It's very obviously hinted there. And he falls from a cliff. And we Jin Lazen, the guy they're pairing him with. That's the other main character. The uptight, cool beauty dude. He tries to, like, he holds his hand off the edge trying to, like, get him, and then you see this other dude show up who you will later find out is his Wei Wuxian's brother. Like, he was adopted into a family, so they're not actually related or anything. It was his dad, the dude that I'm saying is his brother, found him on the street later on, many episodes later, you'll find out in, like, a flashback. And he kind of saw he was homeless, but he was the child of his, like, friend or something, like, fellow disciple, like, kind of like your classmate kind of a thing, but, like, disciple. So he brought them in and he adopted him. And so now, like, him, and he has, like, Yeah, it's this other dude, and so it's the brother, and Luciano's trying to hold him back off the cliff and like pull his ass back up. The other guy is actually trying to stab him, and he says, "Why did you betray us?" So and so, and so he dies, and then he kind of, this is dark for a second, I think, and then he comes back and he opens his eyes, and you see like just someone's feet in front of him. Like clearly he's looking down, and his like hair or something is blocking his view, but you just see like the feet or whatever. And this guy says, "Oh, is it something about like I had to do it? I couldn't. They went too far, and like get revenge for me, essentially." And you wake up in this a bloody room, and basically what happened is this guy killed himself as a sacrifice to get revenge and bring Wei Jing back to get revenge for him. And a mask drops, and then we're introduced to, like, literally like a few seconds afterwards, which I don't know why no one opened the door and went, "What the fuck?" Because the room is entirely covered in blood and disheveled. Like, not like a little bit like, "Oh, he cut himself." Like, no, it looks like someone was stabbed in here. There's blood all over the place, like in a horror movie. They'll show someone like getting killed, or like an arm falling off or some shit, and then like blood splatters on the wall, and we get like the shot of that happening. Like, that's kind of like the level of like blood splatter on the walls is what I'm trying to describe. That doesn't actually happen. Like, no one gets their arm, like someone does lose an arm eventually, but that's the long way into the show. But no. So I don't know why they're not like, why is there blood all over the walls? Is what I'm trying to say. But I was trying to describe like the blood splatter on the walls by saying the horror movie thing. It's not actually, that's what happened. No. Okay, so basically, yeah, he killed himself as a sacrifice to bring Mujin back to get revenge on him, to get revenge on, not him, sorry, get revenge for the people that wronged him or whatever it was. And we don't know a whole lot about this person at first, just that he was like a bastard child or something, and quite clearly he is locked up. People consider him crazy. So it's literally like he comes back from the dead, meets this guy for like a second, saying, "Hey, get revenge from me." And then he disappears. The mask drops in front of him, and about a minute later, people come in and start beating the shit out of him. So quite clearly, whatever's going on, these people were abusing this man. And then we kind of get a few episodes of him kind of like adjusting to what the fuck is going on, and learning that, okay, at least a few of these people are the ones this guy wants me to kill. And we go into like our first mystery is, I guess, a few they're called cultivators, come to the house because I guess they're summoned because it was a long way back. I can't remember, for like some fucking reason. And then just one of the assholes that beat him and his dick of a mom or whatever was also abusive, and I want to say like the husband or some fucking other person, I don't remember, also gets possessed. They all get possessed by this sword spirit, and it kind of goes to hell in a handbasket, and they fucking die. And we get introduced to Wei Wuxian, or not Wei Wuxian, I'm sorry, to Wangju or whatever fucking come. Like, we had this thing that just, like, they can't do anything about the ghost, so they decide to send up like a flare to get reinforcements. That reinforcement is our cool beauty dude, and of course he's like, "Oh fuck, no, shit, he's gonna find him back from the dead." So he like kind of like hides behind the mask all the time, which I guess there were rumors like he was disfigured or he was like crazy or like, so they weren't surprised. Like, he either, like the guy that sacrificed himself, either always wore like a mask or like, I guess, powdered his face in white powder or something. I don't know. You don't really see that. You only just kind of see the mask, but you only kind of see things from Wei Wuxian's view. You never really see any. Like, there's only a brief mention and, like, one small scene with that guy that actually brought him back, and you don't see his face or anything. You see, like, maybe his legs, his feet, maybe his hands and the mask. That's about it. And I think you hear his voice once or twice, and that's literally pretty much it. Then they'll mention him occasionally. A few characters later on in the series will mention, oh, he's crazy, or there's something wrong with him. How dare he show up here? This kind of thing. Anyway, so the first few episodes are kind of like adjusting and him, like the shit happens at the manor with the sword spirit, and then he kind of wanders around for a little bit. So we get about 3 or 4 episodes, at least 3 full episodes, I think, of just like kind of the current timeline, and then just he's not sure why someone brought him back and all that kind of thing. And then like 4 episodes to a great deal later. Oh god, how many episodes do we get? We get like the flashback episode of like pretty much everything that happened, like him being a disciple and meeting Wangju, and like the family's being massacred and why all this shit's happening. And yeah, it's a lot of like Netflix basically kind of described it the best, and I probably really confused myself because I was thinking for like the last few days, how I was going to describe to the show and what bothered me about it, and I feel like I had a clear plan, and then I started to ramble, and now I'm trying to get back on track to actually give some useful information, but I'm so lost in my own thoughts, I don't know what to say anymore. I feel like I don't know if I got anything really useful out there for you to say, but or for to hear. Son of a bitch. See, this is why people plan before they record, but I'm too lazy. I don't have the fucking patience to sit down and be like, this is what I like, this is what I don't like, bullet points. No. I did that in school, fuck that. I didn't want to have to break out the notebook. Even though I literally have one right next to my fucking nightstand. But I have to like move my fucking 3DS and my Hello Panda box. The biscuit cookies my sister got me some. I have to move that shit out of the way. And I have to track down the fucking pencil, which hopefully has lead in it, at least enough to write. And just, I don't know, I just prefer this style, I guess. Less effort, more interesting results. Bad quality, though. Anyway, yeah, so I really like the show. There's one thing I didn't like, though, is they're very... Okay, so, a bit spoilery, is there are these shards of, was it something, I want to say like yin iron, was it? Yin iron? Yin iron. There we go. And they're like, it's a bunch of evil energy and some shit. And we find out, like, in the past, there was this dude that, like, made them or whatever, went batshit crazy. All the clans joined together to wipe this dude out, managed to. And they thought that they destroyed the pieces. Well, of course, no one asshole kept one, who is our first antagonist. And he's from the Wang clan. And the first battle we see is in Nightless City, so it's at the same place, but, like, he's already dead by that time. And our main character, Wei Wuxian, has become the antagonist later on. So, yeah, this Wang Clan dude, His Excellency, whatever, was part of one of the clans that joined up, and he then took one of the Yin shards instead of destroying it, because he wanted power for himself. So then, what you do is you can turn living people into puppets to obey you, kind of, and he does a bunch of horrible experiments with people, and, controls them, and there's a lot of killing, and then he tries to take over, and people find out about it, and then they all band together to get rid of his ass, but they kind of need Wei Wuxian, who has also, like, this mysterious power now, which is most likely part of the Yin Iron as well. You later find out that, yeah, it is actually part of the Yin Iron, though, like, even he didn't know it at the time. He just kind of luckily stumbled on it. And, so they all have to gang up to get him, and then shit happens, and then Wei Wuxian, our protagonist, becomes an antagonist after some shit, because they kind of were pulling the same shit later on. where because of what would happen, a lot of people have naturally had grudges against these people because their family had been kidnapped, people they care about were killed. So they decided they want to wipe out all of the one clan, even if like this section of people were involved in like anyway, a bunch of innocent people who just happen to be part of the clan. So like let's say you share the same name, but like you're a fucking farmer, you're not a soldier. So you should be going after people that actively did shit to your family. But no, because of their righteous personality and a bunch of like status bullshit, and they decided to wipe all of them out, and they treat them very inhumanly, and basically Wei Wuxian sees that they're essentially just becoming the next dude they just defeated. And he decides to save some of them, and then of course between that and then they kind of treat it as like a traitorous act because he saved them, and that he may have another Iron Piece that they'll kind of rally to go and get him, and then he kind of just has to deal with the fallout, and then it's a bunch of bullshit happening essentially based on power struggle and the way people are treating other people. And I can't tell if it was just a bunch of mistakes or if it was actually meant to be in there, but there's a lot of shit. Like, they just blame him for every fucking evil thing that happens at this time. Which is weird because he's always very honest, like, yeah, I killed these people, yeah, I did this thing. He doesn't lie about that. But they're like, oh, you killed over 1,000 people in attendance. He's like, really? I killed 1,000 people. You think too highly of me. Like, there's a lot of things where, like, they just randomly shove everything onto him, there's another person scheming in the background, so that makes sense. A lot of that is being shoved onto him on purpose. And you kind of just see things fucking spiral from people just dying to him, having to deal with this dark energy and all these things happening, and he can't tell people, and he essentially becomes this antichrist type of character. And just everyone fucking hates him. He's this atrocious, monstrous abomination of a man. And just, it's sad to watch him like have to go through this shit and like kind of trying to keep his sanity and not just like kill everyone. And he literally the Sea and Iron has a bunch of like evil energy. So he literally has to like hold himself back because he's not as easily influenced as the others who probably had it in their possession, but he is still susceptible to it. And just a lot of stuff happens, and like I'm trying not to spoil everything, but give you enough that you can kind of understand stuff. But it's really good. But yeah, the thing that annoyed me most is that they were so quick to blame, which isn't the worst of it. It was just a lot of things just kind of didn't add up. Like, it was just really weird. Like, yes, he's this horrible abomination of a man, is what you think he is, but like there are a lot of people that don't die whenever they're around him in a situation where if you think it's like they're literally like rumors like, oh, he eats babies and like bullshit like that. But then there are a lot of survivors after places he's supposedly been to attack people. And it's like, if he's such a monstrous man that's capable, they literally say, oh, you killed like 3,000 people. A lot of people fucking survive for that to happen. Like, it's shit like that where like, if he killed everyone in attendance, how the fuck would anyone know it was him? Because you would all be dead. There'd be no fucking survivors to witness it. And it's a lot of shit like that where like, they're like, he's evil, whatever. And you're just like, did you connect the puzzle pieces, motherfucker? Like, it kind of reminds me of, like, you're jamming a piece into a puzzle. Clearly that thing doesn't quite fit. But you're convinced if you'll bash the shit out of it enough, eventually you can shove it in the socket. You can put it in that fucking... Doesn't matter, it doesn't go there. If you can hit it enough, it will go there. It will stay. That is where it should be. It's very much like that, and that's what's really irritating throughout the series, because it's just like, these are supposed to be very noble, very well-trained people. They basically go around and hunt evil spirits and keep people safe. And they have spiritual energy. Just all of this bullshit. Like, these are people that should be relatively smart. But they're so full of themselves. And they're interclan bullshittery that they don't notice the obvious, wait a minute, that doesn't quite make sense, nature of everything going on. And it's just, oh. So that's probably my biggest complaint. But like I said, I don't know if it was just done on purpose, or if it was like a mistake or whatever, or it just didn't quite fit with, like, say, I don't know. Like, I also thought, okay, maybe it was done on purpose to, like, I was actually talking in the comments with someone about something where it was, what was it? Damn it. Hold on, it'll eventually come to me. No, it's a 25-minute shit. I was like, I wonder how long the video's been going on. Look down. Well, that's a lot of minutes. When I'm thinking of do weird touching like that, I don't know why. Yeah, I was saying that I didn't know if it was like on purpose and they were like accentuating just how ridiculous things were. Like, the only way I could liken it was actually, I give an example to this person, like, one of the first live action anime adaptations of anything I'd seen. I'd never seen the manga. It wasn't until many, many times I'd seen the opening thing that I realized it says based on the manga by, you know, called, Netflix has it. Or, no, sorry, not Netflix. Crunchyroll has it. I don't know if they still have it, but it was a drama called RH+. And it was, again, a boys' love, vampire themed show. And just, it was so ridiculous, the acting, because it's based on a fucking manga. What do anime and manga have in common? They're very expressive with their facial expressions. You take that shit and put it into the real world, it looks ridiculous. It looks like bad acting. To the point you're like, oh god, how the fuck do these people have any talent? And it took me a while, and I finally realized, after a couple episodes, oh, no, they're not bad acting. That's just, they're doing it on purpose. They're over-exaggerating on purpose. Because it's part of the fucking charm of the manga and shit. Is you have to be very expressive. And that's pretty much true for any live adaptation of an anime or a manga. It's going to feel a little off in the acting, especially if you watch shit from, like, the Western world, like me. That's just very off. For a second, you're like, wait, what? Is this on purpose? What? Like, it takes a while to get. But that's kind of what reminded me of, is just, Nate, would you stop whining? You're fine. Anyway. As for anything that might be a little jarring, there is talk of, you don't see it, but it is mentioned, that being rape, incest, it's a whole bunch of murder. You see murder. But much later on the show, there's one instance where you kind of see rape because the guy's tied to a bedpost. But, like, they only show just enough to show, like, they're kind of, like, removing his clothes for a second. Not, like, taking anything off, but, like, kind of moving his robe to the side. And there's a bunch of, like, it's really hazy because there's a bunch of, like, bed curtains and shit. And I don't know. Like, it's a little bit like that. So if anything like that triggers you, like, rape, incest, you don't see it, but like I said, it's just a kind of mode to show, like, that something is going on, but you don't actually see it. Just enough to show, okay, yes, they're doing that thing. And granted, they didn't really have a choice at the time, but yeah. So there's a lot of complicated shit going on. There's a lot of people doing horrible shit for kind of vaguely described reasons. Like, I kind of got why they were doing it, but at the end I was still like, wait, why the fuck? The most confusing one was this one dude, who is, oh god, one of the creepy characters in the show. But, he, like, there's no way in hell no one didn't know this fucker was crazy. I don't mean, like, oh, he's a little weird, and like, this is a fucking serial killer, and he's aware of it, and he'll make you aware of it real quick. Oh fuck, wow, what was his name? I was like, XUE Yang, something like that. Anyway, so we kind of get, like, he massacres a bunch of clans and shit, and then we find out the spoilery, but it's so fucking ridiculous, you're gonna be like, what? And it apparently had something to do with this dude giving him candy when he was little. What? Yeah, just I can hear you. What? Yes, exactly. What? What the fuck? Yeah, so it's just apparently this whole thing started. This kid really wanted some candy, but of course he was poor, so he couldn't have the candy. So he went to go chase down this candy cart, and the guy couldn't be bothered, so the cart dude ran his hand over, which crushed his hand, and that's how he lost his finger. And then he decided to get revenge by murdering the guy's entire fucking clan. And then we have the guy that actually gave him the candy when he was little, and he was a nice person, and then he meets him again, and he decides not only to kill his own clan, but make him kill his own friend. Then the guy's blind at the time, so then he decides to. He found out that like they kill these puppets that it's because they can't like undo the thing on these living people. So he just the guy's blind at the time. This good guy that he does it to is